you see that, the syrup in there, just to make sure?
Yeah, you can see the vanilla bean. And,
so the syrup doesn't have to cover the peach. I'm noticing. I've noticed
right,
things.
Right.
You know,
Oh, absolutely. No. I like that you point that out. Actually, it could. But what I'll do is turn them halfway, sort of carefully, and just move them over.
Okay.
Given that these are flat, they don't need too much depth.
Now, I'm also noticing that you're using a scale, and I'm kind of a support. You know, I'm a pusher of scale.
Absolutely, I am too. You know, baking is an art, but it's also a science. First of all, it must be precise, so that, you know, I'm so glad that in this country we're starting to see recipes written in weight.
Exactly.
Because professionally, of course, that's how it has to be done. But I think it is so much easier, you know.
Well, you don't get any consistency if you're just
otherwise
doing
you're doing a couple of donuts in the dessert. So in here I have a combination of pastry flour and all-purpose flour.
Okay.
And then I'm going to mix in some baking powder, salt, nutmeg, cinnamon, and mace. Okay. So all of that will go in. We can re-sift the whole lot of it if we like. And then we'll add the liquids. And the liquids will be comprised of an egg, buttermilk, and butter. And sugar. I don't have that. Actually, the sugar is already in with the dry in the flour mix.
And that would be gluten controlling. The choices of your flours are
keeping the protein level down so that it's a more tender finished product.
I can hardly wait. Where did you come up with the recipe for the donut?
You know, it's really a combination, an amalgam of, it's sort of the average of a number of different recipes. As I was saying earlier, you know, in baking we use percentages of ingredients. So we're always combining ingredients, but looking at the relationship of one ingredient to another. Normally, each ingredient related to the flour. So I've looked at many different and made many different cake donut recipes, and this tends to be kind of an average of all of those percentages, and I found I liked the way they turned out in terms of texture and lightness. And now we have here buttermilk, melted butter. I'm going to add an egg to this, which is cool enough to be able to do that. And then I will use my same fancy tool just to break this up, and we will add this liquid to the dry ingredients, and we will mix lightly, and then we will be ready to and then just lightly work it in.
Your bowl scraper.
Bowl scraper, just keep it fairly light. Do not overwork it, but purely just allow the flour to absorb. Be gentle with it, and then we will lay it out onto a lightly floured surface, and then we will be ready to roll it to proper thickness, about 3/4 of an inch, and then I will cut this mix into size and shapes that we like. They'll be round, and I'll get a little more flour just to work it onto the table.
The dough smells so delicious.
Yeah, it's nice dump this in.
I see that cut.
So we're going to put this aside.
Now can you use the extra?
We can use excess, and we can re-roll. And what I will do as well is cut the holes out of the middle of these in a moment, but not yet. Once I get them on the sheet, we will work with that aspect of it. So this here. And you could even use the donut hole as an additional garnish on the dessert, which would be nice, and people like that as well. So we will put this excess aside, but if we wanted to reuse it, which we would, we'd lightly bring it back together, allow it to rest again in the refrigerator, and then cut as we did the first round.
Letting it rest very good.
Right. So we will put these aside. Actually, I'll grab my small cutter for the center and generally dip in so that it doesn't stick. Cut this, and then we'll put them right on the sheet, and of course we'll fry these separately, since they will cook at a different rate than the donut itself. So have all this.
Did you want to
Yes, one more. Yes, can't leave that one. Can't orphan that one. So we're going to just again continuing education, learning about products. So going to all kinds of good seminars.
Did you ever visit them in
I have.
Canada?
Actually, I visited Felklin in Switzerland.
In Switzerland.
And that was so nice. And we're going to let this drain. And what we'll do is use a peach in the puree form for the mousse, and then one, or depending on size, even half cut horizontally for the plating of the dessert. So we'll have more than that. When I do these for, in class, or we're using a fryer, we have the best possible control of temperature, but
Well, it's a challenge. A student, I require one of those metal candies, and we do it. We have a fryer, but
Yeah.
it's a pain to clean.
yeah.
So I show them this.
Try to do it on stovetop. Yeah, right, for sure.
Because that's what they have at home anyway.
Yeah, right, and they can practice,
Right.
I mean, the donut is very back. I mean, it's back
It is.
into vogue.
It
in
is.
Upscale operation.
What fragrance.
All right, there we go.
Beautiful.
It's right in front of us.
Oh,
We get
yeah.
another
Oh,
one.
my goodness.
And we
How
then
professional.
I would say when they're really fried, you're not really getting too much excess fat. in
Well,
your
and
diet,
that's the sign of properly frying.
Right,
you
that it
know.
doesn't
I mean,
have,
it's a skill in
exactly.
itself.
That's
Right.
right.
I mean, how many
So
soggy French fries do we
Right,
do we
exactly.
taste? Just
So
for the
we
skill.
have
The skill.
the donut holes are there.
Beautiful. Look at
Voila.
that. Wow.
And then we're going to now put the dessert together, the finished dessert, plate it, and dig in.
All right.
Okay. Cucumber taste. Interestingly, but a gorgeous
Beautiful.
flower for
Yeah.
this. We're going to take these off the stem and put a few on the plate. Okay, 2 and 3.
Perfect.
Okay. And so put this down. Wonderful. Tastes good. Okay, so just stand it in here.